So Britain's International Development Secretary, Penny Mordaunt, had said it had been a great day for Ireland yesterday, but also a hopeful one for Northern Ireland. This is because laws on abortion are far more restrictive in Northern Ireland than the rest of the United Kingdom. Women are currently only allowed terminations if the mother's life or physical or mental health is at risk. So, what could be the future for Northern Ireland? Well, the leader of Northern Ireland's opposition Alliance Party, Naomi Long, had said it was a good day for women in the Republic, but women in the North didn't have the same rights. So let's speak now to comedian Grainne Maguire, who campaigned for the repeal, and Liam Gibson, who is Development Officer for Northern Ireland for the Society for the Protection of Unborn Children. Good morning to you both.
Good morning.
Morning.
Grainne, if we could just go to you first of all, because this was a landslide vote, 66% voting for looser laws on abortion.
Yeah, more than looser. It was absolutely incredible. No, I never, ever would have got my hopes up that we would have got the result we did. It was just a historic moment about Ireland just trusting women and sort of finally giving us freedom to decide for ourselves what happens to our own body in our own country. It was absolutely incredible, really just an emotional and historic day.
And it is a very emotive subject. You could see the crowds of people who had voted for the change in the referendum, absolutely delighted, singing songs and cheering. Very different on the other side of the fence. Liam Gibson, how are you feeling after the result came in?
I think the people who've been most disappointed with this result are people of children with special needs, because this is a value judgment on all children who are seen to be imperfect, unwanted or simply inconvenient, and that's going to have a huge impact on Irish society. We know that from Britain that 9 out of every 10 children who are diagnosed before birth with Down syndrome were eliminated. They never see the light of day. There's a big population of Down's people in Ireland, and that's something that English people often remark on, and those families today will be absolutely devastated, because it means that the value of those lives are judged to be less, to have less legal protection after this law is introduced. And really it is going to be a big impact on Irish society, and also on neighbouring jurisdictions which are already under pressure to further liberalise their abortion laws.
Yeah, Northern Ireland. If we can just have your response to that, Grainne, about, there was so much that had come from heartbreaking stories of women who had made the journey in the past to Liverpool and then were coming back broken-hearted with coffins of their children. And yet there is this point raised by Liam about those who are making a decision because of fetal abnormalities.
So the two things have absolutely nothing in common. The whole idea of conflating children with Down syndromes and a woman's right to choose have got absolutely nothing in common. It's really, really insulting to parents of children who have special needs. The idea that they only have these children because they didn't have a right to choose whether to terminate the pregnancy. It's really, really insulting to those parents. And I know women who have children with Down syndromes, and they find it really offensive and really upsetting, the idea that that they wouldn't have chosen to have these children if they didn't have the choice. And the whole idea that women have to be forced to carry these pregnancies or they would terminate them is really, really offensive and insulting to women everywhere.
Well, Grainne, that's not exactly what I said. I actually am a parent of a child with special needs, so I don't see what you're talking about at all. But we know for a fact that 9 out of 10 children in England are eliminated before birth if they are recognised to have Down syndrome, or even just that label is attached to them. So there's immense pressure on parents. The right to choose is often just a subterfuge. Really, very often women feel compelled to have an abortion, either through their circumstances, financial difficulties, or because they're in an abusive relationship. Women who go for an abortion in England are 6 times more likely to be in an abusive relationship than the women who are going for antenatal care. So there's a huge complex of reasons why women feel compelled, usually for the benefit of other people, to have an abortion. Now, in fact, the Irish people in cold blood have decided, without being under any panic or pressure, to choose abortion for children. And whenever you say a woman's right to choose, that means for any reason. And that does include eliminating people who are seen to be unwanted, imperfect, and inconvenient. So you cannot have it both ways. You can't say that a woman should have a right to choose, and yet, choosing to eliminate the disabled there's something wrong with that. No, you're being inconsistent there. And really, we have 50 years of knowledge of what abortion does, both to society, to women, and we know so much more about the development of the unborn child. We know that there's a heartbeat at 21 days. We know that at 11 weeks children can smile and form facial expressions because they are human. And it's not just a potential human. This is a human being.
You've been accused of subterfuge here by Liam. What would be your response?
My response would be that yesterday, Friday, by an absolute landslide, the Irish people chose to trust women that this is a matter between a woman and her doctor. And I think that is such an inspiring and historic, and I'm so proud to be Irish. I'm so proud. And I just think it's just a fantastic moment for Irish women. And I really, really, now the battle starts to give that right and that dignity to women in Northern Ireland. And I can't wait to start the fight. And it's fantastic that it's galvanised. I think it's been so inspiring, and I think so many other people in the UK have been inspired by what happened in the Republic and are now going to do something, because we don't want any women left behind. And I'm so excited about helping.
Could it be a little bit different? I'm just thinking, there's been this social shift in Ireland. If we just think back to the 90s, it's not that long ago, and there was a referendum to legalise divorce, which only scraped through. So there's quite a swathe of change there. But in Northern Ireland, is there a chance that potentially the influence of the church may be stronger, religious opinions may have a greater impact, which might mean it's not going to head in the same way?
I don't know. I just think there's such a shift, and there's so much, especially amongst young women, that they're just tired. They're not going to be lectured to and told by other people's belief system what they're allowed to do to their own body. And I'm just so inspired. There's so many amazing women. Like, our campaign was led by so many amazing, courageous women who've been fighting for decades, and younger women who, thanks to social media, are able to contact each other, able to inspire each other. And I just feel like people are just fed up. Women are just fed up. They're not going to take it anymore. And I just think it's really inspiring. And I really hope to the sisters in Northern Ireland that change is coming and we're not leaving them behind.
Thank you very much. Grainne Maguire there, the comedian campaigning for the repeal. You also heard from Liam Gibson, who is Development Officer for Northern Ireland for the Society for the Protection of Unborn Children.